virtual couch with your host, the Housewife Queen, and her special guest, Tonia Daley-Campbell.
I'm Tonia Daley-Campbell, and I'm going to be on the virtual couch with HPQ, otherwise known as House Party Queen. I'm so excited, so please don't be late, make it a date. It's Sunday the 21st of February. I cannot wait to see you guys. Bye.
Dragging them, kicking and screaming from our homelands. We are not actually a subspecies, not dissimilar to the cows and the pigs, but we are actually human beings, just like them, and should be treated as such.
Next person is actually going to be the lovely Tonia Daley-Campbell. So if you'd like to... Oh, there she is. Welcome.
She's jumped in.
Do you know, I've been really excited to meet this young lady. But before I even start, I don't even want her to speak because I've got to read this out, right? This lady's an actress. She's a writer, director, producer, and a casting director. She's a mother of 4, and she's a foster carer. And the lady is definitely not shy of hard work. But also, she owns her own drama school, ACTS, and also the young children's agent. She's a young children's agent at the Red Talent Management. You have cast many short films, theatre projects, TV pilots. Your directing has been seen at the National Theatre. You're a writer-director of the Dr. King, The Aftermath, which was featured on the BBC News. You're a publisher, author of the 39 Steps to 40 and
you
also
go, girl.
books. I mean, I could go on. The list is too endless. It's too endless. If I started talking about all of this, that means I've got nothing else to talk to you about. But you are definitely a superwoman, superhero.
Wow.
Where did you get all the energy from?
Listen. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, guys, for having me on your show. Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. And I literally, when you read that out, I'm like, who is this woman? You get me? I don't actually understand it myself. I really don't understand it myself. All I would say is I have so much energy. I have so much love to give. And essentially at the heart of who I am, I'm a hustler. I'm not, at the end of the day, if something ain't working or if you can't get your goal or achieve your dream, you have to then sidestep and then make something else happen. I'm a person, I make it happen. I'm not going to wait for someone to say something to me. I'm going to be like, okay, I really want that. Okay, I'm not going to wait for someone to hand it to me. I'm going to make sure it gets done. So hence why all those things.
Well, you're amazing. But even before we get there, I didn't even give a shout out to where you're from. Tell us where you're from.
Listen, I know you guys are from London.
Listen,
I'm going to big up the West Midlands. I'm from Wolverhampton.
I love the accent. And we were actually introduced to a fellow Wolverhampton, if I could say that, Miss L Vibes, right? The lovely L Vibes.
She's my good friend. She's amazing.
She is. She's one of the top DJs. Everybody loves her at the moment. So we're always pleased to have her name check guests for me. But you do have a zest for life. You really do. So let's just roll back a little bit. You're a mum of 4 person. Let's strip it down bare. Tell us about your life as a mum of 4. How old are your children anyway?
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you asked me this question. I mean, my family is
nice. Just a quickie.
Yes.
Babe, you put your headphones.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? I've got it in.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's better.
Can you hear me? Is it in?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is in. Sorry about that. Yeah, so just saying, I absolutely love, my family is literally everything to me, everything. And being a mother, I was a young mom to begin with, hence why we look so young now. So basically, I've got 4 children, like you said. So my eldest daughter is 25, nearly 26. Pull up.
If sure he wasn't eating now, he could actually do the same. It's late.
Yeah, I'm too extra. Shoes is got to keep up with me. He's like,
I know.
Is this woman?
I'm trying to have my
lady?
yogurt. I'm trying to have my yogurt right now, man.
You Shoes, enjoy your yogurt. I will do my sound effects. You get me?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got my eldest daughter who's a Kayla. She's 25, and she's literally in the lockdown. She gave me my first grandchild. So she just had a little baby, Zyla. So I am a glam. They call it grandma, but I don't mind old school grandma. I love it. I love being a grandmother. I love it.
Yeah,
absolutely love it. So yeah, that's my eldest. And my son is 21, and that's Malachi. So Malachi is doing really well as well. He's working hard, and he's just an amazing son. All of my kids are amazing. And then my daughter, my next child is Talia May, and she just turned 18 in this lockdown foolishness. And she is just about to embark on university in September. So she's a performer like me, actually, the only one that decided to follow in that footsteps. So she's actually a dancer, an amazing dancer. She's got into uni. And then my baby boy, Moses Campbell, Moses, my baby, he's 11, and he's just started secondary school in September. And he's also amazing, very funny, very crazy. And I have my wonderful husband, David Campbell, and he's from London. He's originally from West London, but when I lived in London and trained as an actor, we lived in South London. So I've got a little bit of South.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad. How have you guys coped in lockdown? For all 4 of your children at home as well, and hubby?
No. So my eldest daughter, she lives with her fiance, like with her partner and her baby. And my eldest son, he also lives. He lives in Northampton with his aunt because he was working in Northampton, so he lives there. So yeah, I've got my foster children, my foster daughter who's living with me, and so big shout out to our lovely foster daughter. Yeah, just big shout out as well. So if she's listening,
you make time for fostering as well as your own children too.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard one. Lockdown has been particularly, difficult. In terms of everybody is in the house together. I know that sounds strange, but it's like it's just all the time. And I'm used to working from home, and everybody else is going to school, or my husband's gone to work or gone to college, and then I'm at home. I get things done, and I might go out if I've got a job on, an acting job, or if I'm going to do a workshop or whatever it is I'm doing in my creative world. I'll go out and do that and come back home, and I work from my office is at home. But normally I've got the run of the place, and I don't have everybody to think of. And now it's like the whole house is full. Each room is full with something going on all the time, every day.
3 times a day as well, yeah. But anyway, let's go back to your background now in terms of acting. You said you've always loved acting since a very young age. And when I was doing some research on you, you said that you went to this school and you were so keen on acting that they didn't have no drama classes or anything at the school, and you campaigned to have these drama classes put on, and you were actually quite successful at doing that as well.
Yeah, so it's a straight. Most people who know me know this story because I've told it so many times. But literally, I was at secondary school, and I was a good girl, but I just didn't. One thing I recognised that I didn't feel like I was going to do really, really well with some of the academic subjects. I would try my hardest, don't get me wrong, but I knew I wanted to be an actress, and I'm just like, well, the school needs to make sure that they look after me as well as everybody else. Like, what's going on? So drama wasn't on the curriculum for GCSE. So I remember speaking to the head of English and saying, look, sir, can you, what's going on? How come, we haven't got drama. Can we put drama on as a GCSE? Because I really need drama. And I felt if the drama's on the GCSE, at least I was guaranteed one GCSE. That's how I felt. You get me? I was like, I'm guaranteed to have this one GCSE in my head. So he was like, well, Tonia, to be honest, if you can get like 10 people, if you can round 10 people up to do it, then, it's viable to put it on. But it's not really viable because it's not really you need to have more people. So I went round and I literally went round to all of my friends, even people who were just not interested in drama. I was just like, you know what, please, just for me, please, please, please. So in the end, I rallied about 8 people, and then including myself, that was 9. Went to the teacher, and he was like, I didn't think he was actually going to go ahead and try and do this. So he was happy, and he was like, look, yeah, we'll get this done. So he put it on the curriculum for me, and I managed to get a drama GCSE.
So you managed to achieve it in the end. But so obviously you started acting from school into college. Tell me, how did you get into producing, directing then?
Okay, so I mean, it all stems from the acting, to be honest. So, like you said, from a young age, I wanted to be an actor. Then I obviously did it at school, went to college, and then I went to university in London. So I went to uni. Traveled to London, went to uni, and then I went to drama school as well. So I doubled it up with uni and drama school. And I found that as I was, once I'd got my first agent and I was looking for work as an actor, it was really difficult. It's not easy, and it's just really precarious. You might get a job, you might not, and you're just constantly on the hustle. So because from when I was at college, I was actually teaching young children while I was at college, doing my BTEC national diploma. Yeah. I was also given a job by my college lecturer to teach younger kids to do like a Saturday drama group. So I've been teaching kids from I was like 19, like many, many years ago. So I decided to kind of use that side of me to be able to develop. So I started, doing little workshops. I would write little shows for children and I would direct them. So that's how I started to kind of get involved. So I came back to Wolverhampton after living in London, and we decided, when we got married, me and Dave, we both decided to go back to the Midlands because it was easier to get on the property ladder, because it was really difficult in London. Literally, you could buy a little shoebox and it's like 200K. I'm like, what is No, I'm not about that life. You get me? So we moved to Wolverhampton, and then I set up like a community organisation called Kawumba Arts Movement, and that's really where I really got into the writing and directing side and the producing. I used to produce big carnivals and festivals for my local area. So I would get the police to cordon off the roads. I'd get all the kids like doing workshops throughout the summer. They'd make the carnival dresses. They'd make the musical instruments, the shakers, get their hair done, everything, and we do our own little carnival just in the area, you know what I mean, or little festival. So I used to organize these kind of things. At the time, to be honest, I didn't recognize that I was producing or writing or directing. I just saw it as I'm serving my community. So at that point, that's how the seed was growing from there. But I started to recognize when I was acting as a professional and recognizing that, hang on, how many of the same roles can I play without, kind of like being challenged? I remember loving period dramas and watching the dramas and going, oh, I love them, but I'm never going to be in one of these dramas. Like, I don't see myself unless I'm going to be like a scullery maid in the bottom. You get me? Unless I'm going to play a slave or, you know what I mean? And I was like, I don't really want to be just playing a slave or the mama or whichever. You get me?
So talking about your styles here, I've been watching some of your your productions, and they are very, very powerful. Number one, I mean, you've starred in all of them, and it's quite poetic, and it's just very thought provoking. And before we continue, Shui, I'm going to run just part of a scene from Not My Son.
Wow.
And everybody who's watching, this is quite a powerful video, and I apologise in advance if it upsets anybody.
Please, no, not my son. Nothing left but his blood. Too much blood. His blood stains me, yet sustains me. I can't let go. I won't let go. Take it away. Take it away. Take it away. These systems set up to entrap us, fighting our way out like caged animals. Is that what you really think of we?
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's only, I think it's 6 minutes, I think, the film, and that's nearly brought you to tears there, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's gosh, yeah. That one is a difficult one for me to watch, actually. Every time, even though I did it myself, I just I find it difficult because this was like a genuine like cry out as a mother. And you know, obviously everybody was talking about the response, you know, with George Floyd and all of these things that was happening with Black Lives Matter. And you know, but the truth of the matter is that has been our battle cry for a long time. It's not just been because Black Lives Matter or because George Floyd died. You know, that was one of the things that really highlighted it to a different set of people. But for us as Black mothers, that has been our worry, our heart wrench for a long time. And that was just me pouring out. That was me being raw, saying, really, that was like an artistic statement saying, not my son. So I did it as though my son was taken, but I'm saying also the statement is saying, not my son. You're not taking my son. That's really how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? You know, our Black children are being subjected to so much, and you know, it's going unpunished. I cannot take injustice, and I use my creativity as a platform to speak my truth. I can only speak my truth, babes. You get me? I can't speak anybody else's truth. That's one of the reasons why I write and why I direct, because there's not many people that look like me, sound like me, are from the places where I live, that are in those positions of power, like commissioning, writing, producing. There's not loads of us out there. You know, there is not many of us out there.
I mean, in just watching that short clip, and I watched the full clip, I mean, the amount of emotions you had to put through, I mean, your face was very close up and visual to the camera, so you had to show your emotions there. And I kind of wondered, was she actually really crying in this scene here? Was it acting, or did you have to literally just pour your heart out? I think something that's really hitting home to get that raw emotion. Especially when you were like, oh, please, you know, you could hear that. You know, I do that when I'm really kind of like sobbing. When you're in that sobbing mode, you come out and you say all these things, and it really, really hit home, the rawness of it all. And I think, you know, you can see how, you know, any parent that's lost a son through any circumstance, that set of emotions that you showed there is clear what most people go through when that happens.
Definitely. I mean, within our craft as actors, we tend to draw on real life experiences or real raw emotions to help bring forth a reality and an authentic take on a character or on the words that we want to penetrate. We want to penetrate the audience with the reality and with the truth. So although I haven't lost a son in that way, like I said, it is also a statement to say not my son. I'm kind of saying it as a manifesting that into the atmosphere that I don't want my son to be taken in this way. But at the same time, I know people who have the anguish, and I've lost people in my life, so I know the anguish of loss. Which is it's an anguish, I can draw upon that emotion. But the truth of the matter is, I don't know. I believe most mothers, or even fathers as well, but I can only speak as a mother, that when I first became a parent, I used to think about my child, losing my child, and it would just the thought of it would make tears come to my eyes, and I'm shaking myself because I'm like, why are you thinking of that? Because they mean so much to me that just the thought of it alone just makes you go, whoa, don't, and the emotions are riding up. So I'm very good at keying into emotional content that I have within the backlog of my brain, of my mind, of different traumas or whatever that I've gone through, and I would hope that makes me an authentic and good actor, basically.
I think so. I mean, even Wanted and no blacks, no
colours.
Yeah, no colours, no. Oh, was it no colours? It was no colours.
Sorry, no colours, no Irish, no dogs. Yeah.
That's the one. And Wanted. So those three seem to be quite deep in terms of drawing out your emotions and your acting capabilities. There, is that the type of films that you normally do and what you actually like to do, or can we see you? Are we going to see you in any other different styles at all?
Yeah, I mean the style. I think I would say I'm a character actor, so I'm very good at playing different types of characters, but I think I would say my strongest is dramatic. Is dramatic. Those kind of dramatic pieces, but I'm very well known to do comedy very well. So the next if you read my book, you'll understand the comedy side of me, because I like to run too much jokes. I love music. I love to dance. I love to run jokes. So the comedy side of me, that is also a side, but mainly I would say my strength is in the dramatic pieces. Yeah.
And how do you gauge that? I mean, because you're such a bubbly, energetic person, and you can make that switch to rage and unhappiness. How do you compartmentalize that? How do you keep
it's about really being as authentic as you can to the character. So, for example, in Jamaica 50, you probably haven't seen that one, but I'll send you a little clip of that. So when I played an array of characters in there. So I played Nanny of Maroon. She was the main character, and so she's a warrior, Nanny Maroon, and she has got a side to her where she had to show that she's a strong warrior woman. But at the same time, what I did is, in one of the scenes when I talked about how the British soldiers spoke about it, I did that in a comedic way, because sometimes you can still get the dramatics across and the story and the strength of the story across, but with comedy. So I talked about cooking up some pumpkin soup that they thought I was a witch, but really it's just a pumpkin soup, you know what I mean, and just doing a bit of like witchery thing. But this time I'm like playing on the fact that the British soldiers think that I'm some sort of kind of witch, and so we did that in a very comedic way with a lot of dancing and jiving, really playing up to the story. So it's just about do you know what, ultimately it's about storytelling. It's like, how do you tell a story? If I'm sitting with you jamming and I'm telling a story, sometimes when I'm telling the story, it's sad, and it's like I'm telling this story about this person who's passed away or whatever. Or it could be I'm telling the story and I'm animated and I've got up and I'm just, as I'm telling the story, I'm walking through the story, and you know what I mean? It's really just storytelling ultimately.
And by the way, if anyone's got any questions for Tonia as we're going along, please put them in the chat. Stu Doctor will read them out, or I will do. I forgot to tell you that for H, beg your pardon, but happy to take some questions. One of the other things I want to ask you about is obviously our wokeness now. And we're seeing more and more Black people on TV, more so than adverts now. We're not, before it was just restricted to the one person on adverts. Now we're getting a couple families on there. They might not all be the same colour. Some might be a little higher, lighter than the other. But we're seeing more on TV, on TV shows, and we're getting it pushed in there. Do you think that there's enough Black content on TV at the moment?
If I'm going to be really honest,
let's be real.
No. I'm going to say it straight. No, there isn't enough. I tell you what, there is at the moment. There is an influx of lots of, you've seen a lot of brown people on adverts, like you said, and you've seen a lot more. It's really wonderful to see loose women with an array of Black presenters. So it's wonderful to see that. For me personally, what I'm interested in is kind of like flipping the script completely and readdressing the balance completely. And sometimes because when we talk about kind of the Black experience, what we don't understand is we can't be pigeonholed. The Black experience is vast. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, my experience growing up is going to be totally different to another Black person. It doesn't, just because you're Black doesn't necessarily mean we all speak the same and we all have the same experiences. I remember I grew up in a very Christian household. So when I started going out clubbing and meeting up with different friends and started going to their houses, I remember meeting a friend who her mom used to cuss BC everything, GC everything, and there was no church. And in my head, I just thought, if you're Black and you're old, you go to church. You get me? That's how I thought. But like they were like, no. They said that they would speak out their speakies, say what they're saying, cuss out the cussing, and do what they're doing. They were a loving family. Wonderful family, but they do what they lived a different lifestyle to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't have the same story. I'm interested in different stories that we tell, and also some stories that I will tell, it will resonate with not just Black people. It will resonate with just people in general, women, whatever, whoever. So I'm interested in seeing more of the changes from the top level, commissioning, because if I was a commissioner, what you would see on TV would be totally different. It'd be more of a reflection of the society we live in. But at the moment, it is very pale and stale, unfortunately. It ain't changing quickly.
Most of the time I switch off. I don't even watch BBC now, because from morning till night, you really very rarely see any brown people at all.
HP, there's a question there for you. Idris, from Idris. Do you write script? That's the question from Idris on the Mixcloud.
Okay, Idris, yes, I do write scripts. I'm currently developing my script writing for TV. So I'm in a writer's room at the moment. It's been very exciting for me to kind of like step out of. I used to be very theatre based. With the lockdown, a lot of great opportunities has presented itself to me, and I've been developing my TV script writing skills and working on something amazing at this present moment, and I'm just like, So yeah, but I do write scripts. I'm developing that talent because it's like I said before, it was more born out of the fact that I want to be in shows that represent me. So if it's not there, or they're few and far between, I'm gonna have to write this. I'm gonna have to write stuff, So if somebody writes it for me and casts me, then I'm all good. I don't have to write it. But at the moment, I'm gonna have to write it.
I mean, and I also believe in the power of the internet and technology, and I keep saying it over and over again. With that brings so much independence away from the big corporations. You don't need the BBC or ITV to now start screening your shows. You've got YouTube. You can produce your own, put it up there, all the other social media platforms. And I will, continue to tell our people to keep doing that and not rely upon everybody else for us to be successful. We have to make our own. And that kind of brings me into the next part. I do want to talk about your theatre project, but I want to talk about your writing. first of all, because you obviously have written a few books, 39 Steps to 40 and Confidence Confidential. I mean, everyone can see how confident you are as a woman. You're comfortable in your own skin, who you are, you know exactly where
Just
you're going.
about.
Well, you mask it well if you don't. But you know, your radiance just shines through. And I think someone put a comment in Mixcloud saying, this is from Divine, saying your energy you bring to your interview is infectious and loving the bubbly vibe. So, you know, it just shines through.
Yes, Suze, yes. Come on.
So just a couple of quotes, because I was reading this, and I think you mentioned this earlier on, and you said if you want to see change, you have to challenge yourself. And this is something I resonate with, and I know Shoe Doctor resonates with this ourselves as a fellow Virgo. When we want something, we'll go out there and get it, you know, and it may be something I have never done before in my entire life, and I sit there and think, I've got to work out how to do this and map out the route to do it and get there. And I strongly believe that there's, you know, impossible. It's just not a word that should be in your dictionary. But for you, you know, you certainly challenge yourself with the amount of things that you do. That's quite clear as well. But you said you've got children, and I think you said one of your daughters doesn't share the same confidence that you have. I think you said that in one of your. I'm hoping.
Okay, so in the opening of Confidence Confidential, I remember, so I always big up my daughters on purpose. I make sure that they know that they are beautiful Black women, you know? Exactly. I love Shoes right about now. I need to actually have him in my handbag everywhere I go. So when I'm talking to people, he just goes, pop, pop, pop. I love it. So yeah, she, you know, my eldest daughter, you know, doesn't matter how much I told her how much she's amazing and beautiful, she used to really kind of lack confidence. And it was really important for me just to kind of, she's so talented, like even more talented, she's more talented than me. You know, the younger generation, they come even better, they come stronger. And both my girls they are multi-talented. And it does break my heart sometimes. I mean, she's a lot more confident in herself now that she's a mother, and I think she's kind of seen it's a little bit better now. But, you know, growing up as a teenager, she did lack confidence, and she would mask it with different things, but she did lack confidence. And it was really important for me to see, for them to know that confidence, I don't know, I've wrote it in my chapter, but confidence isn't something that it just comes like that.
Do you want me to tell you what you said? Because I wrote it down. It's so poignant, right? You said confidence is like an intense wave of energy that stands tall even when you feel small. And then you said it's like chasing the lion, looking, hearing, and seeing it roar, and then finding your own roar because you are a lioness. Pull up.
Pull up.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I had to write them down. They were so that I'm going to put them on my board, and they're going to be my mantra. Because
oh my goodness, I read that back, and I'm listening to you say them. And if I didn't write that, I would be like that. I'm interested in that person. You know what I mean? Because I loved what I wrote there, because it's truthful. It's from the heart. It's from deep within, from however I feel at the time. And I find that my best writing, that's why I don't always write, but my best writing comes when it's like a divine intervention. It sounds airy-fairy, but you know, I will be at one with God. I'll just get us like a very quiet, secluded area, and the downloads just come. They just come, and that is like an amazing opportunity for me to just be able to share.
I call it moments of clarity.
Yeah, definitely, hon, definitely. And I like to speak raw from the heart. Sometimes, you know, somebody might not really get your flow. I understand that the way I've written 39 Steps to 40, it's got a rhythm to it, and it's got certain jokes and certain words that I use that if if you're from Wolverhampton, you're probably going to get it because there's some black country talk. If you're Jamaican, you're probably going to get it because there's some patois talk. You get me? If you're an actor or a performer in the performing arts industry, you're probably going to get some of it because some of it's from that. It's like at the end of the day, I just need to present myself, the bits that you can get and you like. If you don't get it, that opens up a conversation, and then you ask the question, what do you mean by this? Because I don't really understand what you mean by this. Like when I read Shakespeare, I didn't understand it straight away. So I go and I find out. And that it enables me and informs me. Yeah. I wasn't a massive Shakespeare fan to begin with. I was like, yo, that's a different language. I don't get it. You get me? But then I broke it down, I learned it and I understood it. I was like, so it's you know, and that's why I love reading. I love reading because it developed my vocabulary, and it helped me to be more articulate using words that I'd never, you know what, if I hear a new word, I will just bank that word in my head. I put that in my little vocab bag, as in my imaginary vocab bag, and I remember when my auntie's sister-in-law, she used to say the word condiments, and I used to be like, what is condiments? Obviously I know what condiments is now as a big woman, but as a young person I was like, what's condiments? It sounds really posh. It's just tomato sauce.
Exactly what it is. Tomato sauce, mayonnaise.
You get what I'm saying? But at the time, I didn't know what that was. But as soon as you know, when you find out what that means, you're elevated. And now I can write the word condiments in my book.
We're getting some really good comments here, you know. People talk about their book, 39 Steps to Confidence. And what was the other one? Confidence Confidential. Those are the two books. Check them out. They are on Amazon. I've checked already. So you can
so the Confidence Confidential book, that one it's a book where I have a chapter in that book. So it's not all my words. So I have one chapter in that book. And then so there's lots of other people in that, and it's a brilliant book to kind of read through. And then my 39 Steps to 40, I wrote that book as a present to myself before I turned 40, just a few years back now. And I wrote it as a present to myself because I was like, I wanted to write a book, and I was like, who do you think you are to think you can write a book? And that's what I was telling myself, like chatting to myself like that. And then I thought, well, let me just challenge myself. I'm going to write this book. I don't care if not one person buys it. That's how I felt at the time. If I write this book, this is going to be part of my legacy. Whenever I do whatever I do, even if it's 10, 15 years down the line, someone's going to be like, you know, she wrote this book 10 years ago. Oh, let me read it.
But you are getting people that want to read your book. You are still getting people that are very much interested in your work. So what's the next steps for you? What else can you do? What else is in that superpower bag of yours?
Oh, as you say, superpower. I'm working on something very supernatural that I can't really talk about right now, but this is a massive, massive, massive project that I've been working with my business partner now for the best of 7 years, I'd say, that we have been pushing and prodding to get this project as this high-end TV drama out to the masses. So we are now in a position where things are going to explode. So I can't really talk much at the moment, but as you say, watch this space, because you might need to interview me again later down the line when the show pops off and everybody's watching it on Netflix or Amazon or wherever, and they're going, oh my gosh, was that you, Tonia? I can't believe it.
Sound the butt cover.
Right, so before we run out to some questions from everybody, I want to run a little competition time, and you've got a lovely giveaway for us for this competition. What's your giveaway, Tonia?
Oh yeah, so I'm willing to give away. Yeah, me forget about this. I have got a signed copy of my book that I'll send out, but obviously you guys would have to send me the person's address, like their email address or their full address, and I'll email it to them. I'll send it to them. So that's one. And then I've also offered, I don't know if there's any viewers out there that, of the audiences that want this, but I do one-to-one, like confidence building, like one-to-one drama acting sessions. So I'm willing to do just one-off, one-to-one with one of the winners. So it's a free one-to-one acting session. It'll be virtual because of the world that we're living in. So it'll be via Zoom. So anybody who's interested in that world or just wants some support, I can do it one-to-one.
Okay, wonderful. Sorry, I'm getting a note written up for me.
Okay.
About a question. But anyway, the competition is, okay, for one of those giveaways is anybody that goes to my Facebook page, House Party Queen, and says that they are watching On the Couch with HPQ, I will pick one of those names that come onto my page. You need to write it loud and clear on my page, please, that you're on the virtual couch with HPQ watching Tonia Daley-Campbell. Okay, we do have a question, okay, from Idris. Did you say Idris Elba?
No, lady called Idris.
I
was thinking hard myself at one time.
I'm thinking that's it. What was the question? Sorry.
In it though, if it was Idris Elba, I'm like
the
Idris.
question was, yeah, we actually asked it earlier, didn't we? Do you write scripts? That was from earlier. We asked that one, didn't we?
No, was there another one?
Was it? Oh yes. I didn't actually copy that one. You know, let's get back to it.
I was just saying to you guys.
Here we go. Okay. What are the biggest pitfalls for writers coming up?
Oh wow! I mean, it's a minefield, really. Like I've just started to find out little bits of what I would need to do in terms of TV writing scripts for TV. You know, really, ultimately, you need a literary agent. To be able to get your work seen. It's very unlikely that you're going to get any of your work seen that by production companies, by commissioners, because they just don't take unsolicited work. So you need to have a literary agent. So I would say that would be your first step. In terms of the pitfalls, I mean, unless you are an established writer and you've been commissioned to write specifically for something, you could find that you're writing and not getting paid. So that could be a pitfall, really. I know I challenge myself to write and not get paid just in that moment, just to develop my skill. But if you want to make a living out of it, you need to have a literary agent, which is what I've got, and I have. You have to go forward in that way, and it's not an easy road. None of it is easy. I'm literally finding out every which way to open the doors, and as I open the door for myself, I'm always like, the door is still open behind me, and my hand is there, and I'm going, come true, come true, come true, come true. You get me? Because that's the only way we can flood the industry with people that look and sound like me.
Guys, can I stop you? That is Idris Elba in the chat.
Yeah, right.
I'm being...
Whatever. Idris is asking me if I write script. Are you mad, Idris?
Okay, he just put it. It is me. Look, hold on. He's put it is me. Hold on. He's put it is me still, Tonia. You are inspiring. Talk your talk.
Jeez, Abiz, give me another pull up.
Sound the bad cover.
Many thanks to Idris Elba for coming into the chat today. Thank you.
You know what? I did think it was first, but then I thought no. Because I clicked I clicked on his profile and I saw only a few friends or a few followers, I think, or something. I thought, okay. Someone's using his name.
Don't even gas me. Don't even gas me, because I've already checked out Idris's production company for a project that I've been working on. But I needed a literary agent because I couldn't get through the door, green door. You get me? I couldn't get through his green door.
Well, he's actually got it. He's actually got his writing in green right now. Big up to VIP Boogie. Enough respect, Bugs.
Sound the bad cover.
Big up Idris, man. Thanks for having you on board, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining me today. Thank you very much. Wow. Listen, I didn't tell you that I've got this little egg timer in the back, right? This egg timer means that everyone's on a 45-minute set. And you've been into that time. You've done very, very well. Thank you very much.
Right. Keep it moving, you get me.
I'm telling you, you have been an amazing, amazing guest on my show today. I'm completely overwhelmed by your character. Everything that you do, I haven't even gone through everything that I wanted to go through with you. I need to bring
next
it back
time, man. You're gonna have to get me on after another time.
Definitely, and dedicate a whole 5 hours to you or something, because that's what you need. And I think in terms of your books that you're doing, the confidence building, I think that's, from the chat, there's a lot of women that have liked a lot of the sayings that you've got out there. Maybe you need to think about putting a quote book together. I think Angela Marr did one years ago. I can't remember what it was called. Wisdom. I can't remember what it was called again. But you do need to. And I think I'm going to put some of these quotes up, I think, in the chat afterwards, because I think they were quite poignant to some people, especially about hearing the lion roar. So we're going to use some of those and some links to your books as well. But honestly,
this is just... Honestly, and I feel honoured, like I'm in the space with giants. I mean, soul to soul. This is me dancing, thinking about the time. Do you get me? I love to dance. Who doesn't like to dance? Listen, I can't even talk anymore. But you've got me excited. It's Sunday. I feel blessed to be here. I need to go and cook up a big storm of food for my big Ola family, because that's how we roll, and it's lockdown. I'm not always cooking at the moment. You get me?
That's a whole lot of food you got cooking now.
Exactly. But thank you for having me, guys. Honestly, I'm really excited to see what music you're going to play when I leave, because I was dancing to the other tune.
We've got a bashment tune for you.
Actually, Shimmy, I'm going to change that one for.
Here we go.
I'm going to go back to the original. You remember the original one that I had for Tonia? Because she likes to dance, and that's more of an energetic tune.
You know the worst thing about it? Oh, yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
I don't mind any. I like a bit of bashy. I like a bit of hip hop. You know what? I was a 90s hip hop. Lord of mercy, I was bad for hip hop. I loved it. But I love bashy as well. I'll bash it out.
Anyway, this one is for you, girl. Enjoy. And thank you so much. Relax in the green room.
On the virtual couch with House Party Queen. On the virtual couch with House Party Queen.
Get your radio.
Hey, baby. Now, wait a minute. You can't leave now. Again. Now, we've been through this before. And I'm tired. Sick and tired of the same old thing over and over. You are runaway love. You are runaway love.
On the virtual couch with House Party Queen.
You are runaway love.
Sonic,
You keep messing around, playing with my heart.
Get your. The brand's coming soon.
No, we're gonna have to part. You're a runaway love. You're a runaway love. Stop playing with my heart if you don't mean it. And stop playing with my love if you don't care. Don't go around making jokes about how you're using me.
On the butt cover.
Don't stop. He just said pull it up, so I'm pulling it up. Don't stop. Big up to my chat room family, my Mixcloud family. What's popping, guys?
On the virtual couch with House Party Queen.
Sunday afternoons on the virtual couch with House Party Queen. We're live on Get Your Radio.
Again.
Birmingham to London, London to Birmingham. We're live on YouTube, Mixcloud, also Fastbook.
Sick and tired of the same old thing over and over.
Big up goes out to the country, man. What a grand country.
You are runaway love.
Hi, sis.
You are runaway love.
Security, Bobby.
You are runaway love.
Shouts to the first lady of Zoom, Miss L Vibes.
You are runaway love.
On the virtual couch with House Party Queen.
Here playing with my feelings. You keep messing around, playing with my heart.
Shouts to the one and only Idris Elba in the chat room this afternoon. Thanks for joining us, Idris. Nice one, mate. I love it.
You're a runaway love. You're a runaway love.
Hi, Fakan. Hi, Daphne. Hi, Linda Miss T.
My heart, if you don't mean it.
Woo!
Yeah, this is Neil Joseph. Check it out. Get your radio on the big people station. See, stay locked.
Cause I ain't got no heartaches to spare. You're a runaway love. You're a runaway love. You're a runaway love.
That is fantastic.
On the virtual couch with House Party Queen.
House Party Queen.
Hey, oh my God. Just one thing. No, by the way, if people saw me looking at the screen oddly, it's because my camera was positioned at a different part of the screen, so it looked as though I was looking up. But Idris, if you're still on the line, I needed a guest for next month. There's a spare slot you're available. Okay, I'll be in touch with your agent. Please feel free to put your agent's details in the chat. I'll contact you today if you like. It's absolutely no problem. So we look forward to seeing Idris on the show next month.
No pressure.
No pressure there, Idris. Anyway, thank you so much. Let's put Tonia now back into the green room. Thank you so
Tonia.
much.
Thank you. Ah,
Love
fantastic.
the bookie there as well. She's amazing.
Fantastic. You got me all hot now.
I know.
You got me all hot. No, you know what? Actually, you know what? When I saw Idris Elba's name, and I thought, okay. So I went into his profile, and I think I saw a few friends. I thought, okay, someone's using his name. And when he asked the question, I thought, I wasn't going to put his name with it. I thought, when he said the name, you're going to think it's him, but it's not him. But lo and behold,
Yeah.
lo and behold, it's Idris. Big up to Idris. Enough respect, man.
On the virtual couch with House Party Queen.
So that he says he'll be there. Him and Boogie will be there for next month. He says
Oh.
that. Big up Idris.
Well,
Big up
yeah,
VIP
well,
books.
I'm telling